Unfortunately, it looks like masks are back at Universal Orlando, and Tracy, Chris, and Lee get to speak to Greg Hall, show director for the Jurassic World VelociCoaster. This is episode 466 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hello, everybody. I am Michelle, your host for today. And with me, I have Mama Tracy.
Hello, everyone.
And Papa Lee.
Hello, everyone.
And the lovely Christopher.
What's up?
Oh, that was really deep. I'm impressed.
What's up?
Holy moly.
Weirdest intro ever.
It really was. Dare I ask how everybody is doing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not dead.
No.
That was good.
Not dead.
Yeah.
Woke up this morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess that's all you can ask, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump on into a Little Things with Seth Kabursky.
Hi, this is Seth Kabursky from the Unofficial Guides. I know it's been a minute. I've been off in California doing research on the Unofficial Guide to Disneyland, but now I'm back and I've got some new little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort. Obviously, the big news recently is the return of face masks at indoor locations at Universal Orlando. The Delta variant is increasing the cases in Central Florida and across the United States. And so now all guests, whether they've been vaccinated or not, are being asked to wear face masks indoors once again in the parks. At the Disney parks and at Universal Hollywood, this is mandatory, but at Universal Orlando right now, it is just a strong suggestion. All right, now that we got that out of the way, in Islands of Adventure, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure has been testing a new virtual line system in recent weeks. It works similarly to the one found inside the app, but instead of using the app, you'll be redirected to a particular website, and you're going to have to log in with your email and a password, so set up your account with Universal ahead of time. The big difference with the new virtual line system is that instead of getting a particular time slot, you have a rolling counter that indicates the time until you can enter the line. And that time can change depending on how well the ride is operating. The good news is that it seems that once you do finally get into the actual queue, wait times have been much shorter. Another thing that's been much shorter in both Islands of Adventure and Universal Orlando is the waits for food. That's because they've gotten rid of mobile order in virtually all locations inside the parks, and that's making the regular lines for the cashiers much shorter and move much more quickly. Hopefully they'll be able to figure out the technical issues with their mobile order system and bring it back sometime in the future. Speaking of food in Islands of Adventure, I've noticed that Circus McGurkus has been open on a more regular basis, about 11 o'clock to 3:30 or so, pretty much every day. However, Green Eggs and Ham, which was operating regularly, has now become kind of sporadic. Check by there if you are intent on getting your Who Hash or tater tots. And if you've got a sweet tooth, the bulk candy in the Islands of Adventure candy shop and the one at the front of Universal Studios Florida is once again self-service. For a while you had to get an employee to scoop out your candy for you, but last I checked they're letting people do their own scooping once again. Just be careful how much you scoop because it's priced by the quarter pound and it's pretty expensive. Before we leave Islands of Adventure, take a look next time you're in Port of Entry for some new interactive walk-around characters. They're explorer types, similar to some walk-around characters that they had years and years ago. Chat them up on your way into the park. Hopping over to Universal Studios Florida, Halloween Horror Nights 30 is right around the corner, and there's lots of signs of preparation around the parks. Over in the New York City area, there is staging for what looks to be a post-apocalyptic scare zone. And in the Five and Dime shop at the exit of the Bourne Stuntacular, you can find Halloween Horror Nights preview merchandise, which now includes shirts for the Bride of Frankenstein. Speaking of Bourne, that stunt show is now accepting express passes. Previously, it was standby only. Since they removed the social distancing of seats, there's rarely been a long wait for the show. But if you want a good seat, you still might want to show up at least 10 or 15 minutes before the scheduled performance. Back over in the New York area, I got to do the Jimmy Fallon attraction for the first time in quite a while and got to see the Ragtime Gals do a full set. They're returning to their full performances, and they should be inside the venue's pre-show on a regular basis from now on. It was great seeing them perform again, even though the queue for the attraction was so short that most people were heading straight into the ride without seeing them. Right next door to the Fallon ride, Music Plaza has been all set up for the Olympics, and guests can watch the coverage from NBC on the giant screen that's been set up there underneath the big loop of Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. There's also some stands there selling Japanese food, but they have frequently been closed. You can still see the Olympics pre-show, which starts 5 minutes prior to the Universal Cinematic Celebration fountain show, performing at the end of every night currently. And finally, for our Canadian friends, Flair Airlines has started low-cost flights to Sanford Airport, which is north of Orlando, from various cities in Canada. Check their website for the introductory pricing. All right, that's all for this time. I'm Seth Kaburski, the author of The Unofficial Guide to Universal Orlando, which you can find at theunofficialguides.com, on Twitter at the UG Series, or on Instagram at The Unofficial Guides. And I'll be back soon with more little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort.
Awesome.
Yes.
There's something in there that I think that you're totally going to go crazy about. I'm just going to go ahead and give you the floor for that.
Would that be part of entry characters?
It would.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not Circus McGurkus?
Have you been in Circus McGurkus other than to eat your green eggs and ham tater tots?
Yeah, I refill my Coke Freestyle in there. That's
about
it.
My port is populated.
We have been begging
So
for this
happy
for
about that.
such a long time.
It's been screaming out for it. The houses are all there. The characters are there. Just bring them out.
They used to do it. They just don't. I think it's funny that they seem to roll the characters out when it's busy, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because you've got so many people going up there that you want to keep people moving rather than it. Anyway, I'm not going to complain because it's awesome.
Hey,
It
bring
is
the
awesome.
characters on, yeah. I was actually, so I was listening to we were just talking about the soundtrack to Islands of Adventure, and I was listening to the Skipper Island Tours, which is the old boat ride that was there. And then it just led me down a hole. I went on YouTube, watching some stuff about it. And apparently back when it was running, the first ride of the day, you'd have characters in port of entry, but the first ride of the day, the scientists for Jurassic Park would ride the boat ride over there to the Discovery Center.
That's
Kinda
cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I could totally see Tracy just hanging out in Port of Entry for half the day, just talking to these characters as if they're, completely real people.
Yeah.
Well, they are real people.
Checking if they fit in with my little stories.
Yeah. It's so set up for it, though, because the whole thing of Port of Entry is it's all these travellers that have come and settled in these islands. And
From around all these exotic places. Hence why you've got the windmills made out of the sail fabric from the ships and stuff like that.
See, Tracy would be the
clever.
person that would go there and then bring all her fan fiction and tell them,
Yes.
here's the story about you.
This is
Right.
your backstory. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be a guide for that place.
yeah, there's not enough walk-around characters at Universal in general, to be fair. I'd like to see, I think we've talked about before, and I think it did when it first opened, just random witches and wizards wandering around
Yeah.
Hogsmeade. Not team members, just people who live there or people who are visiting and just interacting and acting like they're just visiting Hogsmeade like you are. I'd love to see much more of that, and there's not much of it.
There's not. Speaking of that other place down the road in that land that is in a galaxy far, far away. That is one of the really cool things about visiting that park, is that there are just random characters walking around. Like you can just be walking with your drink, down the road, and you're like Rey is right next to you.
Yeah.
Or Chewbacca's like right next to you. And it's not always a main character. Sometimes it's somebody you don't know, but they're obviously from Star Wars. It's very cool.
But in fairness, that's the beauty of owning said franchise.
True.
True.
Yeah, but also Port of Entry is original. So they own all of that. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Like little things they can do to just really increase that experience there. And it doesn't cost a lot of money to have some street characters there.
No.
Exactly.
And when you look at when Universal do characters, they are so good. Like you only have to look at, Michelle, you've done the Grinch Breakfast or Scare Actor Dining. You look at how good those actors are that they get in. And it's such a shame they don't do more of it.
I mean, Doc Brown and Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
That right there is just
Yeah.
amazing.
That's the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to bring it up again, but what about the masks? What do you guys think about that?
Everybody enjoy your masklessness until they enforce it again, because they're going to be doing spacing and all that stuff.
Yeah, so this is the interesting thing, because Disney have enforced mask wearing inside. Universal are encouraging it.
Correct.
I think they're gauging to see if people can be sensible, because then they don't have to mandate it. It's, again, probably going to be let down by people.
I don't know what Chris is going to say. Chris,
I'm telling you, it's going to get mandated. I mean, I live here. I have many people that work in hospitals. They're all jam-packed. It's going down that route again, which me off, because we were going in the right direction. Halloween Horror Nights was going to be basically its regular full event, which I was so excited for. Wasn't expecting. And now the way things are, especially here, like Dade and Broward County alone lead like the top COVID cases in the nation.
Wow.
And we all go to Orlando all the time. By say we, I mean our counties.
Yeah.
So it is heading in that direction. I mean, even what is it? The Magic Kingdom or Disney World are enforcing their employees to get vaccines in the next 60 days. And without that, you can't work there. So if they're doing all those measures, I think Universal is going to go at least down the route of enforcing masks again. It's going to get to that point.
God, I hope not.
I think it has to, though. I think the problem is, I think the world's moved too quickly out of these safety measures.
Again, are we looking at it from the wrong perspective, though, right? When things had to go back to normal at some point. I can't believe we're still talking about this bloody thing.
I know.
Yeah, but I mean, we just got to do whatever due diligence that's needed to do. I mean, if we were doing the mask thing, I mean, when you look at the numbers, we were doing, certain things, and it was just plummeting down in numbers, right? If we got to go back to kind of bring that down again, to kind of regroup, then do it to try to bring some normalcy back to things.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I hate masks. I don't want to wear a mask, but if I have to, whatever,
I just don't see any end to it, to be honest with you. Like at some point, no matter when we remove the masks again, it's going to go up again. Like it's just the nature of any virus that's out there. Any of them. None of them have gone away. How many cold viruses and flu viruses do we have? They never go away.
We're going to end up living with this. That's not a problem. But I think
right
before we've got everybody who's willing to be vaccinated, I think it's moving a little fast.
I think that's the problem with what Chris is saying, though, Chris. I think
but economies need it.
The vaccination rate in Florida isn't great, I'm guessing.
No.
There you go.
Right.
And that vaccination rate needs to go up to make any difference. I mean, yeah. You're right, Michelle and Tracy. Like, it's not going to disappear, right? And there are, flus, viruses, all that stuff that go around. The only issue with this one in comparison to a flu is that you can have it for 14 days, be spreading it around and not have a single idea. Whereas a flu, that you're getting symptoms almost immediately, right? 24-hour, 48-hour incubation time, and boom, it's out there. So it's a lot easier to control that, even from a you perspective, right? If you were sick, you're not going to be, going around everywhere spreading, the flu to somebody. You're going to be at home, be cautious.
Yep.
And I don't suspect that people that do get COVID are trying to pass it. I don't think that, but they could be going around doing things as normal for 2 weeks time frame. and accidentally be spreading it to other people. And with these variants that we're getting that are even more transmissible than previous variants, it just, I think that's what made these numbers go as fast as they did.
Yeah.
You know, it took 1 month to do what 6 months did prior. And that's a scary number. I think it's something that we need to really like look at and go, how can we slow this down to try to get back to being normal again?
Well, a big difference though between now and a year ago is that a year ago we knew nothing about this thing. Nothing. Like nobody knew how to treat it. Nobody knew what it was. Now I think it's fairly treatable. Like yes, there's still people dying, but it's not as scary as it was a year ago. Now we've kind of know what it is. And there are treatments available, even though some hospitals may be a little overwhelmed, but it's treatable now. So we shouldn't be as panicked a year into this as we were at the beginning when we knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
True. I mean, but the other unfortunate thing is between now and last year is we have a vaccine now that people don't want to get.
Ugh, yes, let's not go down
Yes,
that
let's not
road.
go down that route.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Good
We got more
Lord.
science.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyway.
I'm all at this point. I'm all for people having a choice, and I like that personally. And I may get hated for this by some people and loved by others. I don't know, but for me, I like that we have the choice to do what we want to do, and I'm not super happy about Disney mandating it again. But it is what it is. I'll do what I have to do.
If you're fully vaccinated, then that choice is
Exactly.
yours. This is why I'm not against the vaccine passports.
But then, see, okay, Michelle, I agree with you, but the problem is you can say that from your point of view being fully vaccinated, but then you're also leaving that decision up to people who haven't had it.
And it's
Well, that
What-
exact
how-
thing you
how
just
do you-
said, Lee, is why we're here right now.
Yeah.
Why do you how do you have that difference? How do companies know that somebody's vaccinated and somebody's
Well, they
not?
don't, and Universal can't ask. This is
And
why
I know
I think I actually agree for
sometimes I
once with
think-
what Disney are doing over what Universal are doing at this point.
Technically, they can ask,
But people don't have to tell the truth.
right?
Yeah,
'Cause
but
they're
they
not gonna
could
ask you to
do
prove it.
like
I had to show my vaccine
you
passport
go.
when I traveled.
Yeah, but not to go to Universal or to go to Disney.
Right. I'm just saying that they could ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Um,
could just go, oh, I haven't got it with me, but yeah, I've had both, whether you have or you haven't.
honestly, if they just went like you need a vaccine passport to get inside, that would make me happy.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Other than I'd
capacity
feel
down.
like just a kid in a playground with all my fellow kids. Just everybody's all good. Let's go.
Right?
I would love it. I would love it. Do it.
But we've also got to remember that even though we're vaccinated, masked up and wearing, using hand sanitizer, those of us that are still doing it, you can still pick it up and pass it around. It's
Yeah,
a
that's-
difficult time.
Why are we still
I have a
Yeah,
talking
family
about
so
member
there's
that's just going
no
through that, yeah.
there's no answer. There's no
No.
solution.
Well, one way or the other. Either that ends or it's mankind's end. We don't know.
Well, damn it, let me die on the VelociCoaster.
It's a race to the end. Let's do it.
Yes.
Anyway, I can't believe we're still... Everyone's sick of us talking about it, and I'm sick of talking
I'm
about it.
still
It's
waiting for
just
zombies.
ridiculous.
Just saying.
Yeah, so
Um,
let's talk about something happy.
Let's just...
Yes.
Oh, this isn't happy, but I think it's hilarious. And we kind of talked about it last week with Seth and Robin and Robert. It's how can you have a system in place that's supposed to make your food weights lower, and yet you take it away and they're lower?
What?
Right.
So you have
makes no
mobile
sense.
ordering
Ordering.
put in place
Yeah.
that was an absolute show.
Yeah.
And then you take it away, and the food weights are better than they were when you had that in place.
Is that maybe because everybody got
Because
sick?
it was so glitchy.
Maybe everybody just got sick and started bringing in picnics.
It was literally so glitchy. Even prior to COVID, it was
Yeah.
glitchy. Like half the time my order wouldn't show up and I'd be up there waiting for it and they'd be like, "Did you have a mobile order?" And they'd have to push some button and then all of a sudden it'd pop through and like 10 different orders would pop through at once. And
I don't.
so it was always glitchy from the beginning.
I don't understand how it's
Technology?
that difficult though, because it's like even your local pizza shop can have like an online order thing. It's not difficult.
Yeah, it's just whatever is in their app is not working.
Obviously, hopefully they'll take the time and sort it out properly.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So let's ignore what we talked about previously and talk like it is going to happen, even though I'm not going to be there. But the scare zone stuff that's going up for Horror Nights at the moment looks awesome and
Well,
is
what have we
killing me.
It does that huge, all that scaffolding, whatever, in the right there in the entrance. That's going to be like a major welcome to HHN.
Yes,
That's going to be cool.
It's all the stuff that's going on in New York at the moment. I love how they're putting props and stuff up, yet they haven't announced any of the scare zones.
God, we're a month away, guys.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Literally a month away, and we haven't had any scare zones announced, nor at least half of our houses that are speculated.
It is 4 weeks on Friday.
Yeah.
And yet you've got, 5 houses to announce? What have we had? Beetlejuice, Haunted Hill House.
Right.
And Texas Chainsaw. So 6 houses, 5 scare zones, 2 shows, tickets, everything.
Mm-hmm.
In 4 weeks.
I would be very surprised if they're going to release multi-night tickets for HHN this late in the game.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Do you think they've watched what we're going to end up going back on it again, but because you can't do anything else? Do you think they've watched what's been going on as far as COVID and kind of hung back expecting this to happen?
I think so. I think it has something to do with their hesitation.
Makes sense.
I
This is
think
the
they know it's
single
going to
night.
be crowded. I mean, why bother offering discounts?
Well, the single night tickets are the only way, like true way for them to manage capacity.
Yeah. Are they dated tickets or just a one-night ticket?
They're dated tickets.
So you have to buy a ticket for a specific date.
Right.
Yeah,
The
so
only
they'll
tickets
know.
that are not dated right now are the buy one, get one free tickets last year that people chose to keep and reuse this year. So
Okay.
those, if people have those in hand, I have several clients who do, they have a few block out date nights, but other than that, they can use those at any time.
Interesting.
So they got rid of the use this on a weekend ticket or weekday.
Any of
Correct.
them? The only tickets that are available are one-night tickets.
dated.
Or RIP tours.
Well, that solves it. RIP tour every night.
Yep.
Not at those prices.
Hey, I did suggest it.
I know you did suggest it. I'm quite happy now then I'm not going. Sorry.
I hope they do some amazing announcement you want.
Do you know if the UK is doing any multi-night tickets?
I haven't checked actually, but I wouldn't have thought so. If that
They
surely
usually have things before we do.
Yeah. You guys get good
true.
stuff.
They do.
we do
You
get
bought my tickets one year, remember? I
last
sent you
year.
the money.
Not last year, the year before.
Yes,
You got the buy one get one free tickets when they were still available over here.
Yeah.
Here we go. They are selling tickets. One night ticket. That is it.
Yep. I really would be surprised if they released anything this late now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you, especially the way things are right now. I don't think they have any real need to do multi-night
Rock
tickets.
the boat. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, as we know, the Horror Nights is already crowded as is. So
Yeah. And this is really the only surefire way for them to cap capacity
That's true. Yeah.
in any way.
Yeah, it's. I think you're right.
So that's a sensible move then.
4 weeks out, if they were going to have multi-night tickets, they'd be out now. And people have been clamoring for them. It's all you ever see in the HHN groups or on Twitter is people asking, are we getting any multi-night tickets? And everyone's like, calm down, they're coming. I don't think they are.
Unless do multi-night tickets, but you have to specify your nights because then it's them keeping control of
But who
the
can
numbers.
do that? That's a,
They would have to do park reservations like they do over at
Yeah.
the Mouse.
yeah. I mean, they could do, but again, it's still very close in to the event starting.
yeah, 1 month out. It's insane.
Mm.
Can't believe it. 1 month out again. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish it was this time 2 years ago.
Oh, I don't. We'll still be going. Have all this to go through. No, you're all right.
No, but we'd have to do the weekender again.
Tell me, historically, a month out from the event in the past, have we had complete knowledge of what to expect from the event?
I'm pretty
Most of
sure.
it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Gary Pounds, Kenneth's friend, usually does his like list thing of when the
Yeah.
announcements come out, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd all have been announced
Crazy.
by now.
Wow.
So they've known,
Fine.
they've kept their eye on things. Maybe I think
had to.
maybe they're thinking it may not go ahead then.
Perhaps.
No. You shut up.
Why? But why? Why wait?
We
this?
don't care. We don't.
Well,
Don't
exactly.
even say that.
But Michelle, why
Wait, you're
wait?
talking about multi-night tickets?
No,
or?
I'm talking about the event in altogether. Why wait this long with basically more than half your event still to be announced. You know how much those announcements of Horror Nights are. They're huge. As a Horror Nights fan, that's what you look forward to. Is like, yeah, we get the spec map, but it's still not the same as actually getting that announcement. And they haven't really, like you say, you've still got 6 houses, 5 scare zones, 2 shows. Normally they're promoting food and drink.
But they're putting up the scare zone stuff. So I think the chances of it not happening is very slim.
I think the only way it's not going to happen is if they get mandated.
Which
somehow.
they're not.
It's Florida. They're not.
I was going to say, your governor's not bothered.
No.
If it was in Rhode Island, Robin, then yes, it would be shut down, but not Florida.
But it would be interesting do we know if all the construction is finished in the houses?
I saw a post over the last few days of a lot of the facades being done. But as far as inside, no, we have no idea. But a lot of the facades are done and dusted at this point.
Because, we're you said 4 weeks away.
4
which
weeks
is
on Friday, yeah.
Dangerously close, right? Haven't announced everything. Would it be a shocker if it was like
half an
a
event?
limited?
Yeah,
like not a full Horror Nights event. And I'm not asking for this. Like, I want everything in reference to like houses, but like maybe they have to, look at the budget and see, what if this happens? We're going to be screwed out of this much money. So maybe we don't full throttle, something like that. And maybe that's why they haven't announced everything as of yet.
Yeah, well, look at it. If they're only doing single night tickets,
maybe they have to space it out.
It
more
means they're not.
For airspace and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're not going to have the same throughput. They're obviously limiting capacity. Is it going to be worth putting a full event on, knowing you're not getting foreign travelers coming in? You're not going to have the same capacity. They've got to look at it as a cost-effective thing. For the money we outlay for a full event, are we going to make that back in ticket sales? And the answer probably is no.
But considering that the majority, I'm assuming, of this stuff had already been built last year before the event got shut down, I really don't think they've invested a whole lot of extra money that wasn't in last year's budget already.
But if that was the case, you never saw any, like the stuff we've seen for like scary horror in the Heartland, the facades going up. We never saw any of that last year.
But that doesn't mean that they didn't already have the stuff waiting to go up in the background, and that they'd already spent the money on the supplies. They just hadn't gotten to the point of finishing it. So my point is the majority of this was already from a past year's budget. So they're working with 2 years worth of budget on one event. I just don't see them having to shut it down. I think that at this point they would be happy with ticket sales and income at all, rather than shutting it down and yet again taking a hit.
They're making a crap ton of money with merch right now.
They are, and ticket sales are great. I don't think there are any sold out nights yet, but people are clamoring.
Yeah, but if they sell out, what is selling out? It's going to be reduced capacity. I think you can pretty much guarantee that.
You mentioned no foreigners coming in, right? Whether it's the UK, I know you guys bring in a lot.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be traveling this year.
No.
But are you able to travel during that time frame? I don't know the restrictions.
As
or
of
anything
right
like that.
now, we don't know.
No, we're not.
So as far as I can see, the last dates I've seen people specifically say they've had cancelled is the end of this month, like the 28th of August. There's a couple who listen to the show from over here who run Uniquely Universal on Twitter. Their countdown's 27 days, and they still haven't heard anything.
Means nothing though.
So, if you have no foreign, groups coming out to the event, you have no multi-night tickets. You have to buy a single day ticket at a pretty expensive price.
I've just looked there. The most expensive ticket we can buy over here for a single night is £73, which is $102 for a single night. That's expensive.
What's ours right now, Michelle? Do you know?
They range between 80 to 130-ish, depending on the night.
Wow, that's the most expensive ticket. Our cheapest one was $54, which is...
And a lot of people that have in the past, at least from my client perspective, are buying express passes too, because they were worried about capacity issues because of everybody.
Have they released
missing
express
last year.
passes, Michelle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How much are those?
Too much.
150 depending on the night.
That doesn't seem bad compared to a $130 ticket.
So for one night, you're potentially spending $250 for one person.
But again, I've just looked there. I can get our cheapest ticket for the cheapest night, $75, and the most expensive is $102.
And in all honesty, at what capacity do you think is their break-even point? I'm sure it is way less than what a full night brings in. Way less.
Yeah.
Of
course.
So
I don't know.
they could probably cap it because I mean HHN is insane.
But you've got to
Insane.
consider how many actors they have in 10 houses, 5 scare zones, plus all the people working merch and food and drink, all the ops, the actual
the extras they'll have to bring in.
The actual staff working Horror Nights must be mental.
But it's still that they still do not have to sell at capacity to break even. They don't.
Yeah, but they don't want to break even. They're not putting on the event to break even.
But there's no reason for them to cancel the event if they can at least break even this year.
No, I agree, but I don't think I'm kind of inclined at this point to go along with Chris. I think the potential for a limited event, that potentially you might only see the 4 houses they've announced already, and a couple of scare
You have
zones.
a lot of really ticked off people who paid full price for tickets and express passes.
Upset.
You would have, that would do more harm than having just canceled the event a long time ago.
But it's what can
I
they
don't
do?
think they could have foreseen everything though.
Things happen. People bought tickets for last year and it didn't go ahead. They deal with it.
Yeah, but they got their money back. But so if they do a limited event, limited house or whatever event this year, but still had people pay full price, that would not fly.
Right. Well, then they just give everyone a $30 gift card coming in.
You're funny.
What?
Oh, it was hard enough to get the refunds last year. That would be a logistical nightmare.
Not really. You've got people coming through the turnstiles. It'd be a doddle.
No way.
I'm not so sure. I think Chris actually hit the best possible case of what they would potentially do. Again, what other purpose would they have in not announcing everything at this point 4 weeks out? The fact that we know...
That's the only thing that throws everything off, really.
I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm not trying to be
I'll be honest.
doom and gloom. I'm looking at everything that's going on at the moment, and it's...
I don't think a full event is sensible anyway. I think a partial event, cautious partial event, is the most sensible way to go if they're going to do it.
Yeah, because you're still giving people something rather than just cancelling it.
Can you imagine if there was a massive surge in numbers?
Yeah.
That would be detrimental to them.
They haven't capped the daytime parks capacity at all. And
Well, they have, just not now.
If they can cap HHN capacity so that they don't have the conga lines as close together as we used to, they can put 6 feet between parties in the conga lines, cap the capacity so that they can accommodate that. That sounds much more feasible. I just have I cannot see where they would keep the daytime functions as normal as they have, open the VelociCoaster, a brand new ride, do events, do Mardi Gras, do different events, and then cancel HHN. Makes no sense.
Well, again, we're not talking about cancelling at this point. We've gone on a different tack. I don't think they'll cancel it. I think they'll potentially do half an event.
So just to give some perspective here, I was looking back. 2019, final house announcement was Graveyard Games, and that was on August 8th.
So at the end of this week then.
Uh-huh. Well, didn't they push Horror Nights earlier to start? So this would have been...
They did. They started the BOGO tickets pretty early.
No, I mean the event start date, right? Didn't we get next week this year?
This would have been a week early, already. So it would have been 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not going, I don't want it to, because I know what a detrimental effect it could have on next year.
Yeah, going forward and everything, yes.
But I think taking everything that's going on into consideration at the moment, that we only have dated one-night tickets, that we knew we were supposed to have an announcement last week and we didn't get one, the fact that we're 4 weeks out and we've only had 4 house announcements and nothing else, something's going on.
On that note, let's move on to Producers Club birthdays.
I'm hungry. I want cake.
Okay, let's get on to some Producers Club birthdays. Got a nice little handful here. We are going to start off on the 5th of August, which is very soon. And that is CJ Booth's birthday. Happy birthday, CJ!
Happy birthday, CJ!
Happy birthday!
CJ is one of the Booth crew that
obviously.
interviewed me. Yes, of course.
Yes. I knew that. And the following day, the 6th of August, we have the lovely Rich Cotter's birthday. Happy birthday, Rich!
Happy birthday, Rich!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy.
And again, we've got lots of concurrent ones here. It is the lovely Barbara Fuller's birthday on the 7th of August. Happy birthday, Barbara!
Happy birthday, Barb!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And then we have a little break just to digest our cake. And then the 13th of August, it is the lovely Holly Cotter's birthday. Happy birthday, Holly!
It's just as busy in their house as it is in ours in
know.
August. Happy birthday, Holly!
Happy birthday, Holly.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Oh, Holly got it. Aw.
Yeah. And then the 15th of August, it is the lovely Steve Milson Payne's birthday. Happy birthday, Steve!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And last but not least, it is the lovely Michael Morris's birthday on the 16th. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Michael.
Happy birthday.
Hope you all have a great day, guys, and get lots of cakes and presents.
Yes, I've had too much cake this weekend.
Tracy, will you plug the dang Producers Club? Por
Yeah,
favor.
go on then. If you would like to be part of this crazy, not a cult thing and get your birthday read out in this wonderful way, I'm getting really, really funny looks at the moment. If you want to join the Producers Club and just come and have a bit of a laugh and get some extra bits and be in a cult, just email us at uuopproducers@gmail.com and Lee will send you all the details.
Not including like us and people who are classed as part of the team. We have 135 members this year.
Wow. Nice.
Awesome.
Gonna have to stir up more Kool-Aid next time.
Yeah.
We get a big barrel and just start doing it inside that.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Let's quickly take an ad break before we start waffling on about random things anymore.
Have you taken a stroll down Diagon Alley and visited Gringotts Bank? Taken a ride through New York with Jimmy Fallon? Visited the Truffler Trees in Zeus Landing or hung out with a real-life Transformer? No? Then what are you waiting for? At Universal Orlando Resort, there truly is an option for everyone. Or if you're leaning a little more towards pixie dust rather than ones and portions, Disney destinations around the globe await your arrival. No matter the adventure, our sponsors have you covered. Be sure to let the experts at Mouse & Muggle Travel Company take care of all your travel needs. Earning the distinction of being an earmarked agency specializing in Disney destinations, as well as becoming one of the first to be named a U Preferred agency with Universal Parks and Resorts Vacations. Mouse & Muggle Travel Company will ensure you receive top-rate customized service. Just visit mouseandmuggle.com to fill out a non-obligation quote request or send your request to info@mouseandmuggle.com. Their team can take care of you no matter where in the world you go. With a flick of their wand and a little bit of pixie dust, the process will be so seamless. Some might even say it's simply magical.
Welcome back. If you are still listening, that is. Okay, I am going to go ahead and quickly pass you over to Tracy, Chris, and Lee as they had the chance to sit down with Greg Hall from Universal Creative to talk about the VelociCoaster without me. Just kidding.
Hey everyone, we are happy to be joined by Greg Hall, Creative Director at Universal Creative, to talk about the brand new Jurassic World VelociCoaster. So Greg, welcome to the UUOP.
Hey everybody, I'm glad to be here.
It's good to have you on.
Really is.
We are really glad to have you on.
Yeah, we're excited.
Oh, well, spoilers, Chris has done nothing but rave about VelociCoaster since he wrote it.
Yeah, if you guys need a cheerleader squad, let me know.
It's such a fun ride. I love it. This was an amazing project to work on, so I'm just excited as everyone else to talk about it.
Oh, good.
That comes across. You can see from the team how excited you guys are for it, which, from a fan's point of view, is awesome.
Yes. It's everything we want.
The funny thing is, on the first day of opening, like the first questions we get are, how many times did you ride it? So people just want to know how many times the team rode it. And it's almost like they want to just beat us.
Yeah. Surely the answer though is always not enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, we told them like one of the engineers, he's almost at 200 rides right
Yes,
now.
I know that engineer. I have spoken to him, and I was like, wow, I can't believe you have ridden it that many times.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. So it's like we're fans of the attraction as well, man. It's such a fun ride, and just keep rocking over and over.
Soon.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me.
I gotta get my ride count up.
Well,
I'm only in the 60s, if that helps.
Oh wow!
Oh, only in the 60s.
I like it. Okay, rein this in, shall I? Yeah. The VelociCoaster, that opened at Universal's Islands of Adventure on June the 10th to rave reviews. Hey, Chris?
Yep.
Yep, he actually said it cannot be hyped up enough, and Lee and I can't wait to experience it.
I am slightly nervous because I do suffer from motion sickness on coasters, and the word that I have heard most people describe VelociCoaster is intense, which worries me just a little bit.
Yes. I can't wait. I don't care.
Take your Dramamine. You'll
I
be
will.
fine.
I will.
He can just lay on the sidelines and just hold the courts. It's fine.
I'm not worried for you. You'll love it, man. I can't wait for you to ride it.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be so fun.
It will. So Greg, will you take us back to the initial concepts for the attraction? Like, was it always going to be a world-class coaster enthusiast coaster?
It was, this ride was really awesome, because in the beginning is, the whole purpose of it was really to give the guests what they want.
Yeah.
And so, I was working on other attractions and some that are coming out pretty soon, and I was wrapping those up, and they came to me and was like, hey, the guests want a new thrill attraction, and we have this IP, we have Jurassic World, and we want to really do that, and you're the guy who does all this stream stuff. It makes sense. So, I was like, okay, let's do this. And, they did just an amazing job setting up a team. And like the team from the very beginning, was full of coaster enthusiasts and,
Awesome.
and people who just like were really big fans of the Jurassic franchise. So we really knew like, okay, there's an expectation that we have to reach, and we want to raise the bar for ourselves. And, the thing about Universal Islands of Adventures that's so unique is a theme park that really has these iconic rides that are rites of passage.
Yes.
Or, it's like, hey, that's the ride that, I want to be tall enough to ride one day. Or, that's my first ride that I want to kind of conquer my fear and, and fall in love with. So this was, a unique once in a lifetime challenge to create the new version of that and something for a new audience. And, so we just wanted to raise the bar for ourselves and everyone with all this experience of riding hundreds of rides and, just being fans of film and animation and just creating new things just came together. And, we worked on this dream project.
It's awesome. I love, like we've talked about it on the podcast before, how sort of 10 years ago, Universal were sort of looking at attracting that family market, and then now I think they've gone, do you know what, let Disney have that. This is what we do, and this is what we do well.
Yeah.
This is definitely a ride that's part of the Universal DNA, and we wanted to do justice of that and let the world know exactly who we are.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think you guys hit it. I mean, this ride, the whole, land ride, everything about it feels like, you guys went in with a blue sky project and like never had any kind of restrictions. And you guys, like, I don't see anything there that I could change and make it better. Like it's such an amazing experience. And it's incredible to see that kind of come to fruition. Because, a lot of times and obviously you know more than we would, but when you're designing something, you got the bean counters that come in and kind of tell you, hey, we can't do that. We got to cut here. We got to do that. And this ride just doesn't feel like it has any of that, at least not that a guest can see. Yeah,
the big thing that, we conveyed to the team was that we wanted to set up a good balance of form and function. So every single thing that was designed was there for a reason. There's beautiful architecture, beautiful rock work, but we didn't want the rock work to simply be a backdrop. We wanted that to enhance the actual guest experience. So the shape of the rocks, that really helps with different elements in the first half of the ride, where there's near misses. We're getting raptors really close to the guests. You think you're going right, but you actually go left. And so making sure there was a reason for every element, and that was an amazing thing about working with the Jurassic franchise. There's a lot of things that were edgy that we had ideas for, and it made sense with the dinosaurs, the teeth, and the thrill in the environment, and making sure that those were represented in the decision making.
This is the problem with doing a podcast from this country. Is it just it kills me that I can't get to ride it until next year.
We hope. We hope. Yeah. Who knows what's coming?
If not, he'll just go over there and make one for you guys.
Oh, that would be awesome. Alton Towers are always looking for new coasters, I can tell you that.
Well, we're a bit close to home. We'll have a new park.
Yes. Yeah, Universal Orlando, England. That would be cool. I know it doesn't work. It'd be Universal England, wouldn't it?
There's a field sale across the road,
Anyway.
so that'll do. Sorry.
Now, Greg, kind of going off what you just said, right? When you were designing the attraction, did you worry about melding the two franchises? And was it like always the intent to not only impact the entirety of Jurassic Park, but also like the skyline of Islands of Adventure?
Oh, well, yeah, that was a good question. So we wanted to make sure, because the Jurassic franchise is amazing. It inspired a lot of us, a lot of designers on the project. And then even the land itself is an amazing part of Universal Islands of Adventure. So we wanted to make sure that whatever we did didn't feel like we took away from something that people loved, and that it was actually enhancing and adding more story and adding more immersion and celebrating and doing it justice. So that was a big thing for us as a team. And as far as like understanding that, we had to really understand the essence of Jurassic. If there's Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous, what's the key essence of those, and what would be in all of them, to make sure that there was a blend with the existing elements in the land. So, and we came up with thrill, teeth, and environment, with, thrill being the actual experience of the ride, the dynamics and maneuvers, the unique elements that we introduced to the guests, and teeth. You need dinosaurs in your dinosaur ride. And then environment, we just didn't want to focus so much on those two other ingredients, and then we don't bring back this lush landscape that makes you feel like you're transported into another world. So those were really important to us, and it helped us make confident decisions. And when we talked to the filmmakers, they fell in love with that, because there's like pretty cool, unique challenges that we had. There's no roller coaster in the film. The Raptors, this was the first time they'd ever been on public display. Like in the films, they're in the movies, but they were never in the operational park. And how would you show that? And the information was there. And we got to actually take a deep dive and show what it took to train the Raptors and in the queue, and show what it took to take care of them. And there's a lot of things and a new layer of depth that people get to explore throughout this whole attraction that's literally the size of a mini land within a land. So it's pretty cool.
It's awesome because, like, again, we've talked about Hogsmeade is amazing. I am a huge Harry Potter fan, and I love walking to Hogsmeade. And then Hagrid on the back of that added a whole new dimension to Hogsmeade. And it looks like VelociCoaster does that exact same thing to Jurassic Park. It just gives it an energy that it didn't have before, that you can see from not only that land, but from all around Islands of Adventure. It is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the kinetic energy that it brings is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to bring a life to this land that it deserved. And, it really gave us the opportunity to make an awesome new element to the skyline of the attraction. So, we really studied every single angle that a guest could see this and wanted to make it a moment that they could make memories, take videos. Even if you're not riding the roller coaster and you see your family or your friends on there, you get understand what they went through, and you can still have that conversation with one another. And just bringing people together is, all part of the job.
So, Greg, let me ask you a question here, because I saw a post on Reddit when the ride first opened, and it was a beautiful shot from the other side, of the lake. And it shows the ride on the Mosasaur roll, right? And right when the middle of that roll, the cart's upside down. It doesn't block where it says Discovery Center. And the post was saying it's almost like they intentionally designed this that way to not block the signage from the front of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Any validity to that? I've always wanted to know, and now I have the person I can ask.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. We definitely wanted to... everything was carefully looked at, and for instance, like the promotional shot of the lagoon with the light tracing across the Discovery Center. That was actually concept art that we used before we started building anything. So we definitely wanted to make sure we framed everything correctly so guests will be able to discover new photographs and memories, and share their experience with their friends and family.
I know there was a lot of people were concerned of the impact of the view across the lagoon when that was getting built.
Yeah, same here.
And it blends in so well and just adds a massive amount to Islands of Adventure.
I can't wait to get out there and just spend time with my camera, just taking all those different angles, because that's my thing. So I'm excited about that.
It was funny because I do remember people were concerned. They were like, in our heads, we were like, there's going to be a lot of planes coming back. A lot. But and then when they all came back, it was like, oh my God.
Beautiful.
Right. So so from Blue Sky to Blue the Raptor, the whole attraction is incredibly well themed. The entrance plaza is beautiful. The queue is another knockout Universal queue. Did we expect any less?
No.
And then we have the coaster cars, which are just
phenomenal.
There is no words. It's just like,
yeah, gorgeous.
Yes. Then we've got that light package. Sorry, I am absolutely fangirling here.
We need to. We've complained a lot that Islands of Adventure isn't open late enough on a night to really appreciate the light packages on those attractions. They need to keep it open later more often.
Yes.
They should.
There's also the Raptor paddock. And it's just, it's all stunning and breathtaking, and just, I'm sure you have to experience it multiple times to even begin to get it to sink in. But for you, how cool was it to get to play in the Jurassic World sandbox to create this great attraction, VelociCoaster?
This was a dream project. That film is just, it was beyond its time.
Yeah.
It was, it was something, I remember watching it for the first time, and, just the graphics still hold up to today. And, it's like, and it was like a masterclass on storytelling. There's so many quotable things from the film. There's so many iconic, screen grabs and even items and toys and things like that were in there that still mean something to today. So, just understanding that level of depth that they placed in the film and trying to apply some of the different lessons learned into an attraction that is, you're going to have people waiting in line for, and just exploring and discovering things. You just want that to have the same type of depth as well, as the guests deserve. So definitely was a big thing that we really wanted to do justice for.
Yeah, we haven't heard a single complaint about it yet. And theme park fans can be the most vocal.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't heard anything. Everyone has just been, this is amazing.
We're pretty nitpicky too over here. I can't find something wrong with it. I'm telling you.
I've got to say, though, in a way that makes it worse that we're stuck here. We can't ride it because it's so good.
It's like, I love the mosasaur roll that's right in front of the entrance, and then the way the top hat comes down looks like it's going to hit you as you're waiting to go in. It is absolutely stunning.
That's it. I'm going this weekend.
Gotta go.
But I mean, talking of roller coasters, it is a world-class coaster. It is a coaster fans coaster. And you look back to when roller coasters first came about, they were basic steel structures, no theming. VelociCoaster looks to be the top of that pile, where it is a literal world-class coaster with the amazing theming that we expect from Universal Orlando. You've got to be proud of that.
Oh, definitely. That was the goal was to raise the bar for ourselves. And, the truth is, this is 2000. We knew the ride was opening in 2021. And that's, growing up, that was the future. So we wanted to make sure that, like, hey, what is the future of roller coasters? What would that be? And let's flagship this for ourselves, at least. And give the guests what they want. And give them more and give them what they don't expect. And I think that's the big phenomenon that happened with this particular project is that, not only are we giving the guests a lot of things they've been asking for, we're introducing new things that they didn't think we would ever do or take a risk on. And, it shows a lot and there's a great appreciation on both sides, it feels really great and humbling.
I bet. I mean, if you look at you guys outdid yourselves because Hagrid took coasters to the next level and then VelociCoaster's taken it to the next level.
If not the one above.
You guys are just future-proofing roller coasters.
Absolutely.
It feels like what the Hulk did back in '99. Exactly. You guys did now with the VelociCoaster, where the Hulk 20-something years old, and it's still this amazing attraction.
Yep.
But VelociCoaster gets all that and then just steps it up to a completely different level.
That was actually pretty much the day one challenge. Like the Hulk coaster in '99 was just the icon, and what would we do in 2021? And that's what the goal was and the mission.
The problem is now you've set the bar that high that next time you've got to outdo yourselves again.
Hey, I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
Trackless roller coaster system.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So as we said earlier, the ride's been a huge, huge success, which we're so pleased about. And to show just how much that is true, you guys broke 1 million riders in only 75 days. It's like, what?
That is crazy.
That's absolutely insane.
It really is.
I mean, you and the whole team must be incredibly proud of that achievement.
Yeah, we're super proud of that. It was funny when I first heard that. Like one of the engineers, he was like, "Hey, we're about to hit 1 million riders."
Yeah.
I was like,
crazy.
"What already?" He's like, "Yeah, we're all kind of like, And you could go out there and you could see the crowds and you could see the excitement, but once you actually see the data, like the number, whoa, oh man, it's really amazing.
So basically, you're looking at VelociCoaster, you guys have hit it on every level. Theming's top class, coaster's top class, everything's top class. Even the actual running of the attraction and the throughput,
reliability.
Everything is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even mentioned it too.
Big shout out to the operations team. Yeah. They're killing it out there.
Yeah, I was telling Lee on the other day when we were recording a podcast how this coaster, at least to me, I never see it down. The only time it was down is for bad weather. Obviously, there's other times it could go down, but it's way more reliable and consistent than some other coasters we've seen in the past. On opening weeks, months. I don't, go anywhere with that. But this one, it's just incredible. It's up all the time. It's. Oh yeah.
We did, a lot of testing, and that was everything was taken serious on this ride, and we, and that's what's amazing that there's so many intelligent coaster enthusiasts, theme entertainment enthusiasts, and just people who are fans of just new, unique things that they're noticing the hard work and the proper execution of a team that had a lot of ambition.
Yeah, it's great now that with the internet that the guys behind everything get the plaudits that they deserve.
It's
because
about time.
Back in the day that wasn't there, was it? Nobody knew who theme park creators were, and now they're like the rock stars of the community now, aren't they?
Too right.
Trust me, I was very nervous before this.
I really was.
And I've been doing this for 10 years and I still get nervous talking to people.
Funny.
Nah, man, this is fun. I'm glad to be here and talking about this ride. It's really highlighted my day to talk about the VelociCoaster with people who are excited about it and who've ridden it and want to ride it. It's really, that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. It's about introducing something new to the world and something that puts smiles on people's faces and gives people memories to talk about and inspires new things in the future.
Mm.
Awesome. Well, as long as you talk, we listen. So
Absolutely.
now, the coaster has been described by myself and our listeners as one of the most intense coasters ever. And it has some incredible elements. You got the double helix, the top hat, got a bunch of launches, which are incredible. The Mosasaur roll and the inverted stall, one of my favorites. It truly is a world-class coaster. But we have to ask, which is your favorite element about this coaster?
Oh yeah, as my role, the main focus the entire time was making sure that it was a real balanced ride. So if we talk about like the most surprising element, the Mosasaurus roll by far. We knew we added a little kick to it, but you can't describe that moment unless you actually ride it. It's just something that you can describe it a million times, but you don't get it until you actually experience it. So that's definitely one that's a surprising moment. But as far as the entire attraction, and I'm really proud of the pacing. It's like the first half, you're dodging all this immersive rock work, and there's a reason for every shape of it, to get the near misses. You don't know which way you're going next, to get the raptors close to the guests. But then you just go literally through a building, and we're shooting 70 miles per hour through a building, and guests can actually see that while they're in the queue.
Which is awesome.
And not only see that, there's raptors chasing the vehicle. And then after that, you're 155 feet in the air. Most top hats, you start off the ride with that.
Yeah.
You start off really high, and then it just loses momentum. And this is actually kicking off the second half of the ride. This is halfway in the ride, you actually experience that. So the momentum's just increasing as you think it's supposed to slow down. And then we have this inverted stall that's so unique, 110 feet going upside down. And it's so amazing because the guests walking on the path could look up at it, and then they get just understand what's happening on the ride. And then this unique Mosasaurus roll. There's so many elements, and the pacing of when they're revealed was a big thing for just balancing this ride and making it something that was a ride in this time period, and trying to raise the bar for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, from talking to Chris and other people, it's like you can put a lot of elements into a coaster and it just feel like you've put them in for the sake of it. So, for example, the Smiler at Alton Towers, that thing is just as many coaster elements as you can chuck in about 2 minutes, and you've been through that coaster when you come off the other end of it. Whereas from Chris talking to you, it doesn't feel like you've just thrown things in there for the sake of it. It genuinely, like you say, it does feel balanced.
I guess it tells a story as it's going along.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I keep on saying you can hype this up as much as you want and talk about it. You can talk about it for hours, describing the roller coaster, until you sit in there and ride it for yourself. It's undescribable. It's just incredible. It's an incredible ride.
The true test is Michelle, our other host, who's heading down in September, and she is incredibly nervous to ride this ride. She will. I have been trying to get her on Rip Ride Rocket for years. She will not. She will not go up that first lift hill. She is adamant, but she loves Jurassic World that much that she's determined she's going on it, but she is nervous. I will keep it PG. She is nervous.
Yeah, she's thrilled that it's only a lap bar that holds you down. Let me say that.
Well, I was calling those freedom bars. That helps,
That inverted stall is the thing she is at least looking forward to, I know.
That's one of my favorites. It's so good.
So good.
Especially with a lap bar,
Oh yeah.
Like on coasters, normally I like to leave stuff loose to get that feeling of moving around. This one, I'm like shoving it down all the way to make sure I don't slide out.
So good. I mean, like listen, like the team has so many different unique like departments. So, we had a finance team, the different teams. And so there were people who weren't like thrill like enthusiasts like that. They like cool things, but they were nervous. And just seeing them get on it, and then like a week later, they're just inviting all their friends to get on the ride. And, like they've been on hundreds of roller coasters, and we're like, wait a minute, a week ago you were just we couldn't drag you on the ride.
That's brilliant.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is
that's
a
the general
testament.
consensus that I saw over there when I went to go ride it, because you'll hear people talking, and they're like, oh yeah, we just rode Hagrid's, and they're trying to get their friend to ride VelociCoaster, and they're like, I don't know, man, that thing is really intense. And I'd walk by and I'm like, yeah, it's too intense. Don't ride it. I need to keep this queue down so I can ride it many times.
Keep this queue down. Yeah.
Queue management over here.
It's almost like you become an instant professional roller coaster rider.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, it's been awesome to talk to. I know you're a busy
Really
guy.
has.
I know you need to go and get that coaster count up a little bit more. We really appreciate you coming on and speak to us. It's been awesome, and it has just made my excitement for riding that so much more.
Mine too.
I'm excited for y'all.
It is
Definitely.
awesome. I cannot wait. It's unfortunate that I have to wait until September next year, but thank you, COVID. Everyone listening, get down to Islands of Adventure, ride VelociCoaster, but not too much because Chris wants to keep the line down.
Just ride when I'm not there. Then it's fine.
Chris needs to send out a message to the world.
Yeah.
So everyone
Yeah, they
just,
lower the intensity when I'm not there, so just ride it then.
oh, Chris is coming. Let me.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to get a banner made for the front of the
Yeah.
front of the Chris is coming today. Don't ride.
Yeah.
Chris is. Oh, wait. Chris is here.
Well, I'm going to go cheesy now. So one word of advice before you ride it, hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that interview.
It was
Did
awesome.
you guys enjoy it?
Yes.
So much.
I was so nervous
So
beforehand,
much.
as
Oh,
always,
super
but it was really
lovely.
good.
And again, I apologize for fangirling out the whole time, but
Yo, you
know.
don't.
Normally I'm quite precious over our interviews with Universal, but I thought, you know what, Chris is the only one that's ridden it. I
Yeah,
might as well
no.
get him on, and it was really good.
I found out some cool little bits of information, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, and had a laugh. It was fun.
Yeah.
You could hear that sort of trepidation in his voice to start off with. Not sure who we
He
are or
settled
what we
in.
are, and then by the end of it, he was laughing with us. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great guy.
He quickly settled in.
I
And
do
you guys
hope-
had a good laugh at my expense.
Of course, I
Of
had
course,
to bring it
always.
up. I had to bring it up, Michelle. You knew I would.
I'm not as scared as I was. All of these
Good.
interviews and different people that you've talked to about it, I actually feel better.
Good.
Okay.
We shall see.
Even after he mentioned the seatbelt failures that happen very often.
He didn't say
Oh
that.
my God.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Everybody listening. They didn't happen.
Although he did say he likes to call them freedom seats.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
Freedom seats. That's not a great term for a coaster seat.
But
I was going to say, I was thinking afterwards, if he actually wrote a book about the experiences, I would be all over that.
yeah.
So go at it, Greg.
But I think that the point for you, Michelle, is he did say that it wasn't just like obviously the team was full of coaster enthusiasts, but then they had like all the finance team and stuff, and they weren't into thrill rides like that and came off it, and they were absolutely converted at that point. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually quite good at alleviating
yeah,
any worries, wasn't he? It was
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, he really was. He made me even more excited to ride it than I am nervous to ride it.
Yeah,
Good.
that's good.
Yeah.
Not to say I won't still be screaming my head off and having the nervous toots before I get on. But
Nervous toots.
Wow.
Just go with it, Lee. Just go with it.
That's not what I would call them, but okay.
that's not what would you call them?
I can't say.
What, 'cause
Oh,
you're a
God.
lady?
No. Can't say that. How dare you?
Everybody gets the nervous toots. I'm the only one that's willing to say it.
I
Just
don't.
regular toots for me.
I don't get nervous.
They're not nervous.
Average toots.
There's nothing average about them. You're a fella.
I get exciting toots.
I mean, that's worse. But yes, I want to say a big thank you to Universal. A big thanks to Greg for talking to us, and of course Ali for setting it up. And it was awesome.
It's nice seeing Ali again.
It was actually. We did it different this time. For
Virtually,
the first time, it was nice. We actually did it using Teams, which is much like Google Meets that we use here. Normally, we do it over the phone, and the conversation, there's like a massive delay, and the sound quality is awful. It was actually nice to do it like doing the podcast. To be fair,
yeah. It sounded really good.
It's not as good as doing it in the actual broadcast center, but there you go.
Can't have everything.
Eventually.
It was fun.
It was.
I enjoyed it.
Well, be sure to check out our friends over at the Theme Park Duo as their latest episode, which came out on Monday, where they had the chance to talk about the new ride with show director Shelby Honia.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they were the two.
Steve just posted that too.
Yeah. So there's the two creative team that were doing the interviews with Greg and Shelby. So I think between the two of us, we got both of them. So
Worked out really well.
yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Awesome.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Sweet. All right. Well, I think that will do it. We will end this show with another listener-submitted Universal Is, and this one comes from Alexa Lorero.
Oh, no.
Ha ha ha. I can't wait to hear what she has to say.
I know this one.
All you have to do if you want to be involved is drop us an email to podcast@uuopodcast.com or send via Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter what you think Universal is in 3 words or less. And Alexa says, Universal is my sacred place. Catch you next time, guys.
Guess that wraps things up for another unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. You guys did all right. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest, keyword UUO Podcast. Listen and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere podcasts are found. You can find our blog at UUOpodcast.com. Send us your spews, which Lou gets your poo recordings, questions, or comments to podcast@UUOpodcast.com. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, and our awesome sponsors, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company. So, until next time, don't give up your day job. Say cheese. See you later.